Welcome to the Weather Kitchen. I have two helpers here for weather lesson number 8. Let's introduce them right now. What's your name, sir?
Preston Jacoby.
Preston Jacoby. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Preston. What do you like to do?
I like to play with my brother, go out in the woods and play in my backyard.
Yeah, speak up, sir. I can hear you. You play in your backyard. What do you like to do? Introduce yourself.
I am Chef Blake.
Chef Blake, what do you like to cook?
Today, I like to cook pancakes.
And who doesn't, right? All right. You know what Daddy likes to do? I like to take a can like this and crush it without using my hands. Okay? We're going to talk about pressure. Or do you ever feel like you're under pressure sometimes with school and you're going to explode?
Mm-hmm.
I do with you kids all the time. Anyway, all right. We're going to do a little experiment about pressure, high pressure and high pressure and low pressure. And when you have low pressure, like what we have coming into Arkansas right now, that's air that's rising. That's air that rises. It condenses and forms rainfall. Okay? It's low pressure. When you have high pressure, you're exerting a force. When you have high pressure, a downward motion, and that creates sunny skies, drier air. Kind of like what we had this past weekend, right? Notice we have clouds coming in now. Well, we're going to do this on a much smaller scale. We're going to create an extreme area of low pressure, a vacuum. Okay? Kind of like what you guys are supposed to do, vacuum your room. All right? First, I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. Let's get, before we get to the actual experiment, it's, again, weather lesson number 8. Whoops. There we go. Weather lesson number 8. I'm moving things around. All right. Under pressure. What we're going to have is a can. That green thing, that is the Sprite can, the aluminum can. And we're going to fill the very bottom of that with just a little bit of water, okay? And then we're going to have, you probably saw in front of me, you saw, what do you call this, Andrea? Some sort of dish pan? Glass? Baking thing. We're going to fill that up with cold water, all right? And when we warm that water in the Sprite can, we're going to heat it on the stove. And what's that do to water? What does that do to water when you heat it? When you heat water, it begins to what, boys?
Water vapor.
Water vapor. Very good. It creates water vapor. It goes from a liquid, which is water, to a gas, which is the water vapor. The water vapor, like clouds, right? So we're going to change that, and we're going to create that water vapor. Then we're going to take that can, and we're going to turn it upside down, all right? With the water vapor, it's going to be hot, so we got to use tongs, okay? We're going to use tongs for this. And then we're going to put it in the water. Kids, do not try this at home without a parent or a guardian. And so when you put that hot can into a cold pan of water, it creates a vacuum. The vapor condenses out into water again. It creates a vacuum, and it exerts a force inward. And that's what causes the aluminum to crack. Okay? That's what we're going to do, and we're going to try the experiment. Are y'all ready to go with this?
Yes, we are.
Okay, let me pull all this up here right now, and we are, all right. First thing, here's the pan right here, all right? Fill that up halfway with water at the sink, okay? Wait. Before you do that, let me fill this up with some water. Hold on, let's fill this up with some water. Let me rinse that out just a little bit. Just a little bit, just maybe like a teaspoon or 2. All right, so I'm gonna take this Sprite can that I just filled with that much water. Now I'm going to turn the stove on. This is going to take a little while. And we're going to place that on the stove. All right, kids? Now, Preston, fill that thing up with some cold water. Blake, grab some ice for me, will you?
Ice. Yes.
Ice in a cup that we're going to put in there. Grab some ice. Make sure that's cold water. You're going to put cold water in that pan, all right? That's enough. All right? Hand that to Daddy. All right, so we're going to put this right here like this.
Is 8 ounces enough or more?
A little more. Just a few more cubes. All right. All right, it's good and cold now. Now we're going to put on some glasses. What does Daddy use these glasses for?
Mowing.
No.
Weeding.
Weeding. The trimmer. Because I'd done that and had a rock go right in my eye. Didn't feel very good today learning this lesson. Okay. So, that, and it's a cool excuse. I look like a scientist, a mad scientist, don't I? I need a lab coat, don't I?
No, I was 207 sweating.
All right, so this is warming up. I really should have had this going full blast earlier. So what we're doing now, we have the Sprite can. You might see it on the stove. It's heating up, and so it's going to take a little while for this to reach to a boil. How do we know when this is ready to go?
When water vapor starts coming up and we can see it.
When we start to see the steam, that's when we know that the water is changing form from a liquid to a
Gas.
That's right. I can start. I hear a little motion in it, so it's really heating up. The can is heating up, and this is Piper. We're gonna have to get Piper out of the way when we do this. So we're gonna take that with some tongs, and I know we have bigger tongs than this somewhere. They're missing. And we're gonna turn it upside down and put it in here, and it's going to rapidly collapse. It's gonna crush the can without touching it, because we're gonna go from that vapor and that incredibly low pressure that's going to create a vacuum, and it's going to crush the can. The high pressure here, the warmer air, relatively speaking, and it's going to collapse in on itself. All right, so let's take a look here. We got something on the stove right now that's burning. That was probably some of the food that I cooked yesterday. So that's not steam coming out, boys. That's something on the stove. Wouldn't that be something if we got the fire alarm or the smoke alarm going?
Oh, yeah.
That would be kind of funny. No. Oh, by the way, I emptied the Sprite can.
Yeah, I get
Oh,
more than
yay.
you. I get more than
thirsty.
you.
They get the Sprite. All weather lessons, numbers 1 through 7, are on the Arkansas Weather Blog. You can get that at ktv.com, or you can go to arkansasweatherblog.com. And weather lessons 1 through 7, and this one, which I forgot to hit the record button on it, but I can still grab it anyway off the Facebook page, will be posted later on today. All right, let's see how our can is doing. And again, we're creating low pressure. And in low pressure, we always talk about low pressure creates clouds. It's lift. It's a lifting mechanism. And when you lift air, it condenses out. It forms rain. All right. It's boiling, but I still don't see any steam coming out, any water vapor. We burned off whatever was on the stove. These boys are getting anxious right now. This is good and cold right here. Put your finger in it.
No.
Here comes what?
Fortnite dances.
Yeah.
Is that good and cold?
No. Yeah, that's cold. Like,
Okay.
it's cold.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Sure.
All right, so this is, do you hear it?
Yeah. I hear it boiling.
We're wearing glasses, safety glasses, and you boys are going to back away because we don't want any hot water. You know, it can burn my skin and it'll hurt for a long time, but I'll be all right. Don't want it in your eyes or anything like that, all right?
That'll hurt.
Yeah, it will. I still don't see. Oh, there it is. All right, boys, back away. It has now turned into steam. I'm going to get it good and going here. Then we're going to grab it with this, and I'm going to transfer it from here, turn it upside down, and put it in there. And it will make a noise.
It's boiling too.
Yay, I'm so excited.
We've done that.
We're gonna let it get going. See little water vapor. We'll get the dog out of the way.
Yeah, dog.
All right,
stay
here we go.
away.
Very important again. Only do this with close adult supervision. I'm going to turn the stove off, grab it,
Oh no. Oh no.
and turn it upside down.
Okay, didn't even drop it.
And there it goes.
He's gonna drop it. It's crushed.
Okay, it's cool. Cool to touch. And it completely crushed the Sprite can. It created a partial vacuum. Inward force. The can was crushed.
Yeah, I thought you would
Weather school lesson number 8.
I thought you would drop it.
All right, boys, clean it up. I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all so much for trusting us at Channel 7. I hope you enjoyed.
We should